That's where they have like the Cars animatronic show. They got all the good shit. Indiana Jones. They got, what the fuck? Somebody break in? You getting robbed? Kenny, you getting robbed?
Damn, hold on.
Hold on. Shit. Welcome, Nerd Chatter, a bi-weekly podcast where we discuss stories throughout the week from the film, gaming, and tech industries. Today I got the boys with me, Lucas and Kenny. What up?
What's going on, man?
What up, sir? How's it going?
On this week's show, we're going to talk a little bit about Disney shutting down Galactic Starcruiser Hotel and a couple other moves being made by the company. But before we get into that, you can do us a solid, hit us with a like and subscribe. That'd be much appreciated. We just recently switched over to the bi-weekly schedule, so it's been a couple weeks since we've been around. Ironically enough, it's been slower than a normal week for that 2-week period. What do you guys think? We got like less than a dozen?
Yeah, there's not a lot going on.
It's like nothing going on. So we'll talk a little bit about that, but we picked the topic to discuss a little bit, kind of moving back to that since we're going to have presumably a little bit longer of a show. But we're going to be stretching it out. We like to maybe base these shows around like discussions about things in the industries, rather than being like this week the biggest story headline, blah 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 blah. So we might be gravitating more towards just kind of sitting around and shooting the shit and kind of griping about general price increases on video games, or just the climate on Twitter, blah 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 blah. More broad subjects where we can kind of maybe debate and bitch and complain and shit like that.
What grinds my gears?
You know what grinds my gears. So yeah, we'll be getting into a little bit more of that. We'll still pick a handful of stories to rattle off through a roundup. That's not going to go anywhere, but it's like even on this week's roundup, we got some pretty obscure, still kind of lame headlines. It's like, oh, Nic Cage being in this video game. It's like, whatever.
I'm excited to talk about that.
You're like, this is the greatest story on this list.
I got a lot of stuff on that.
But we got some resources brought up about this most recent decision made by Disney, the Galactic Starcruiser, which is the insanely over-themed and overpriced hotel in Florida. I believe, Lucas, you said that it's directly connected to
Hollywood
Studios. I mean, you said that for the immersiveness that you kind of exit out into Batu.
Yeah.
I don't recall seeing any entrances or anything like that. And like I had mentioned, for anybody that hasn't been to both of the parks, I mean, you might have been to one or the other, but you don't really need to go to the other one to see anything different. It's identical. Like, I knew exactly where I was going because I had already been there. You know what I mean? Like, I had gone in Florida, and then when I most recently went to the one in Disneyland, it's like immediately, it's like, oh, that little spot right there is the exact spot that we took pictures at, last time. So it's like, okay, so I'm just gonna go to Doc Ondar's. It's like I know where that is. So you're not missing anything if you haven't gone to, Disneyland or Disney World.
You are missing something. You know what you're missing?
Humidity.
The Florida experience, bro.
Oh God, yeah. If you've gone to
We're
California,
going next year. We're planning a trip next year.
Yeah, I mean, I went and literally I was there for Halloween, and the weather was disgusting. I figured it was going to be a little bit more crisp and maybe possibly, more chilly and rainy, but no, it was like 98 degrees and raining. You know what I mean? So it's like, this fucking sucks. I hate this shit. What the fuck? You're sitting there like suffocating, but also like having to hide from rain. It's like, this shit is disgusting, bro.
That's gross.
Fuck
I don't like
Florida.
that.
So yeah, and then when I went to Disneyland, it was like I had a smile on my face the entire time just because I was constantly soaking up the fact that it was like 71 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, like a little bit of a breeze, but nothing too crazy. And it was just beautiful weather, like at all times, just absolutely like beautiful weather. So, if you're on the fence as to which park to go to, I mean, it just really depends on what you're into. Disneyland is just straight to the point. You get all the good shit. Disney World has a lot of like filler and you know having to park hop and do this and that and all the tram work and shit like that. And if you got kids, it's a fucking nightmare. So I mean, yeah, you guys are going to take a trip. All our, you know, if you don't have any responsibilities with kids or anything like that, it's just gonna be you two, Epcot. At least make
drink
that
around the world.
Yeah, I think that was the story that we were going with.
good food though. You know, like you get a little bit of everything. You know, it's I don't know, like 24 different types of food. You know, from Indian to Chinese to Canadian to fucking British. You know, and all the different types of beers. Every country's type of beer, you know. So
I'm gonna see if I can make it around the world.
no, you can't. It's huge. It took fucking forever to get around. There's nonstop like just lines, people getting beer and shit. It's like, damn, bro, you get fucked up here. German was really good, you know. Blah blah blah. I guess we're talking a lot about the park, but really, like that's the park that has this hotel.
Really expensive hotel.
Now, if you're going to Disney World, you have the different parks. Animal Kingdom, which is fucking lame. I hated it. The people there were dicks. Like the employees there were dicks. I don't know why, but they were just dicks. All the employees at Disneyland are like fantastic. Disney World, it's like, bro, it's so Floridian. It's
I
like
mean,
racist.
would you be happy standing around having to direct people in humidity? You gotta
No.
wear this thick ass uniform.
No, but that's not my problem.
Exactly.
Fuck them. You know, like fuck
I
them.
feel bad for all the characters.
Put
Yeah.
yourself in their shoes, bro.
I mean, you know, it's your shoes, bro. Like, fucking give me a pair of shoes and shit. The fuck? It's not my problem. The fuck? But yeah, they just had like a general like attitude issue. But specifically at Animal Kingdom, more, I don't know why. I mean, it might be because Jungle Cruise, like they treat you like shit intentionally. Like that's kind of like the thing. It's like,
The theme.
yeah, that's the theme of it. Like they just kind of like dump on you, but like that bleeds off into like every part of the park, and like it's not ironic when it's some bitch at the front of a line, right? Like ours was, we had a kid. He's just tall enough to hit the bottom of the height, so he passes the first check. Wait in line, wait in line, wait in line. There's another check for height. He passes that check. And we wait in line, wait in line, wait in line, having to deal with their fucking stupid ass jumbled line bullshit, where they take like 2 or 3 lines and then they just open it. They open the aisle. It's like when you walk into fucking you guys have both been to a Haunted Mansion, right?
Yeah.
It's like you just enter a room and then you're left to like fend for yourself in terms of like where your place at is in line, you know, like
Well, it's just like cattle.
yeah, exactly. They cattle you through. You know, so like I got an issue with that. So you're struggling with that, trying to keep a party of like 6 people together. And then we got up to the very front where we're about to step into the fucking cart. Another check for height, and this bitch says that we can't go. So it's like, are you fucking? This is on Dinosaur, so it's like the lamest fucking ride like ever.
Hey, did you tell the person just to watch your kid while you went on the ride? And like,
Like, we didn't want to go on that shit. Fuck that ride. But it sucks because like literally the child was right there. He starts crying. You know, we have to go through the ride, like walk into the cart that we were going to sit into, to then get out and leave. Like so, like everybody's like staring at him cry, and it's like,
so he hates you now.
yeah, well, like, you know, he just hated like just everything. But and that was like the situation. It's like, what a bunch of fucking cock gobblers, dude. Like, fuck
Now he
you
just hates
people, bro.
Florida.
I mean, yeah, I mean, probably not. It's probably me that hates Florida the most. I've already
No,
told him,
it
I was like,
bleeds
I'm not gonna
into
go
him
back,
now.
dude. Like, unless I'm paying for the whole deal and I can call all the shots and where we go and shit, like, I'm not going back to fucking Florida. Fuck that.
It's forever etched in his head now.
Yeah, it ruined it for him.
Yeah. Good job.
So, you got Epcot where you go to eat and get fucked up. A couple of dope rides there, not too bad. Ratatouille's pretty good. Then you have Hollywood Studios, which is kind of a cool theme, 50s diner type theme, but also a little bit like Roger Rabbit vibe. That's where they have like the Cars animatronic show. They got all the good shit. Indiana Jones. They got, you know, what the fuck? Somebody break in? You getting robbed? Kenny, you getting robbed?
Damn, hold on.
Hold on. Shit. Grab the gat, homie. He did it again.
First it was
As I was saying before, so rudely interrupted, Kenny.
Sorry, my bad.
That's gonna be the theme, though. Is you just abruptly stopping the show because of some
Random
shit.
noises in the background.
It's a theme, man.
But Hollywood Studios has, the good shit. Star Tours. It has, Batu. It has all this. So this is where the hotel is connected to. Then you got Animal Kingdom, where the assholes reside, and then you got Magic Kingdom, which is just a blown out version of the center court and Main Street of Disneyland. It's just that, but expanded on. A lot of shops, a lot of shit, a lot of eateries. They got Autopia or whatever. They don't call it Autopia over there. They call it something else. But then you got Disney Springs, which is where, it's downtown Disney, where you go to buy shit and shop and buy artwork and stuff like that. Pretty dope. That's free. Definitely recommend you guys go there because they got some good ass motherfucking Dole Whips and shit over there. I think that's it. Some Disney fan is probably like, you forgot this, you fucking idiot. But you got the hotels that are attached to it, and you're in your own little country, which is Disney World, right? And this Galactic Cruiser, Kenny, what are we looking at in terms of pricing for this hotel?
Yeah, so two guests per cabin was $4,800 for 2 nights, so it's $1,200 per guest per night. Then 3 guests per cabin, which could be 2 adults, 1 child, is $529
For
and
2 nights?
For 2 nights.
Yeah, it's only 2 nights, dude.
Yeah, it's only 2 nights, and then for 4 guests, it's $6,000.
You got to think about it. It's like a show while you're staying there.
I've seen it. I mean,
So-
Jenny Nicholson did a nice little. Actually, she didn't do a video. I think she's probably going to finish it now. But there's some
Yeah.
good behind the scenes.
But with Kenny's
So-
pricing though, they have the weird thing where it's 3 adults and 1 kid.
Yeah, it's three.
What
three
is that?
adults,
That's
1
kinda
kid,
weird, right?
Yeah.
Awkward Disney stuff.
Grandpa's got to stay home.
Pretty much, yeah. So the package includes entry to Disney's Hollywood Studios for 1 day on the second day of your experience. So you can't go the first day, but you can go the second day of your stay.
What?
The admission ticket expires at midnight prior to departure date and is non-upgradable, non-transferable, non-refundable, and excludes activities and events separately priced.
So they want you to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
They want you to wake up in the morning and not go to Disney Springs. They don't want you to park hop, because you got to wait till 2 p.m. to park hop and shit. They don't want you to do any of that. You get the fuck out. Get the
No,
fuck
'cause
out.
Your galactic adventures come to an end.
Yeah,
So please
yeah.
exit the building and
Your
enjoy
immersion
rest of
experience
it.
has ended.
Yeah. The package also includes 2 breakfasts, 2 lunches, 2 dinners per guest. The gratuity included for dinner. Thank God.
You don't have to tip.
One quick service meal consisting of 1 entree or either 1 non-alcoholic beverage, or if you're 21 or older, you can get an alcoholic beverage. Or guests ages 3 to 9, 1 combo meal for kids.
That's so
Get them French
specific,
fries.
bro. It's
French
just
fries and a hamburger.
it's just so disgusting how specific it is. And you look at the pictures of this shit. It looks so dystopian. It looks so sterile and bland, and I mean, it literally looks like the prison in Andor. It's not.
So some of the combinations of rooms that you can get. So a standard cabin is 1 queen bed or 2 bunks, and a wall pull out. A Galaxy class suite, so basically just a regular suite, is just a queen with a two wall pull down beds, and then the Grand Capital suite is 2 queen beds, 2 bunk beds, and 2 wall pull out beds. The size. So I'm assuming this is gonna you're definitely the size of a cruise ship, an
That's what I
actual
was
cruise
thinking.
ship.
It's got a cruise ship vibe, the way everything's all described.
And what did it say? They only have 100 rooms, right?
Yeah,
I think it was something like that.
It's not big.
Very small hotel.
And a community bathroom.
No. You're
I
fucking
mean,
lying.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either. But
You have to
Jesus.
put a time and date that you want to take a shower.
And like
Yeah.
these rooms don't even. It's like okay, so like you see the diner or whatever, like the food eatery, and they have like the giant wall, right, which is like the screen, and you see space, and there's battle or whatever. Or there's other cruisers floating around or star destroyers or whatever. Um, okay, like maybe if you had that full blown immersion in every room, right, where everybody had like a window room, and it was this big screen that had this loop of space, and ships flying by and shit like that. Maybe some type of like immersive integration with like, because they have holograms, they're just not like Star Wars, like cases, right, where just the way it reflects light, like it looks like a hologram will pop up. Like maybe have things for kids where that type of shit chimes in and it kind of links to their experience in the park the next day, and they can like kind of play this immersive game. Maybe have droids driving around and like the hallways and shit like that, like maybe. But the way that it seemed was it was just some boring ass rooms, an eatery where they had this really cringy show with some really well designed cast members. Like they do look legit. Then it's just the general price of it. That's actually higher than what I remember. I thought I think it was like 3 nights for 2 people for like $5,000, but for 2 nights, that's insane. Like that's
2 nights.
ridiculous. But this is an outcome, right, of Disney cutting a lot more than just that, right? We have the whole DeSantis dick measuring competition that they got going on, and what was that? It was like an office building or something that they were gonna build or something, right?
The hotel, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't a
Wasn't it a
hotel.
community?
Oh, it was like a community housing for employees and stuff. But the caveat to that was that a number of the employees were coming from California. They're being forced to move and relocate to work at Disney World instead of Disneyland. So there's a bit of, to remain neutral and respecting both sides of the argument. Loose term respect for the Florida aspect of it, but
Yeah, but you know who's really like glad that didn't happen? It was the 2,000 Disney employees that didn't have to move.
yes, they're actually pretty stoked. Those people online are just like, yeah, sick. Dope, I don't have to move out there. But the argument of you're taking 7,000 jobs away from Floridians might be closer to 5,000. 2,000. Who knows? Don't know how many employees they actually projected to move out to Florida to take those jobs. In which case it's not really helping, right? If anything, it's probably making it worse, I would assume. I guess more taxpayers, but it's offset by the lack of jobs being taken up by actual Floridians. So you have that. I don't think that hurt them too much, and I don't think that was too much of I think they used it as a means of kind of like a jab at the whole, pissing competition they got going on down there. But I think it was also another cost cutting measures, right? Because that's like 7,000 employees or whatever that they're. I don't even know if it was 7,000. Do you have a number of how many employees that they were gonna have at that location? It might be less, actually. I'm not sure. My thing here, just with Disney in general, they expect to cut 7,000 jobs, so I might be having some conflicting information there. But it was in the thousands in regards to the jobs that they were supposed to be generating for the state. So there's a bit cost cutting going there, right? Like you're cutting just overhead and you're cutting construction. You don't have to worry about this shit. The Starcruiser, what do you think they'll turn into?
Didn't they buy more land to make like a bigger Star Wars land? Like an actual Star Wars, like bigger theme park?
Nah, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. They're like, that's part of the whole hubbub of what's going on is Iger in here just going crazy with the hatchet,
They're just gonna use the Halcyon as like storage.
Yes.
Because you figure they're not gonna make that corporate campus in Florida, so they cut that. So that saves them 864 mil.
Mm-hmm.
And then when this ends in September is like the last voyage, I guess they could say.
I think it was 28th to the 30th or something like that.
So, I mean, they're cutting a lot of costs.
Yeah, that, and then we have the moves being made on Disney Plus.
Dude, I don't agree with that. Raise my
Well,
prices and cut stuff.
yeah, I mean, so there's some weird shit going on. We have a few things, and we'll talk a little bit more about one aspect of it in the roundup, but Disney Plus is removing content from
Yeah, Turner and Hooch.
Turner and Hooch, Willow.
Yeah.
Willow, bro.
Yeah.
Never gonna see Willow again.
Oh yeah, fucking woe is me and shit. That movie's only been out for, or series has only been out for like 5 months and shit. Being
At
removed.
most, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're removing that. They're removing a bunch of shows. We got Big Shot, Turner and Hooch, like you said, The Mighty Ducks, Game Changers. Watch that, super cringe. The chick was all about it though, so we watched it. I mean, original Mighty Ducks goated for sure, but you know, it is what it is. Just Beyond, Diary of a Future President, The Mysterious Benedict Society, The World According to Jeff Goldblum, Why the Last Man, Dollface, The Hot Zone, Maggie, Pistol, and Little Demon. A lot of those I haven't heard of.
Yeah,
But
probably like 3/4 of those I haven't even heard of.
yeah. So these are being like sold off, right? We have a bunch. We have a full list here. Marvel's Project Hero. Never heard of it. Yeah, very weird. I mean, these are a lot of like shit. This is a lot of shit. The Big Fib. Okay. It's A Dog's Life with Bill Farmer. What?
Well, I'm gonna miss is The World According to Jeff Goldblum.
I didn't watch that, but I heard some shit. Everything's trash. Agreed. Fucking true. Yeah, so a bunch of smaller stuff. So what they're doing is that they're just going to kind of pimp it out to other stations, right? Other streaming platforms. Make some money, you know? They're sacrificing some shit. Like, obviously, they're not cutting big shit. They're not taking, you know, the Fox X-Men movies and pimping them out to, like, Netflix or whatever. But, you know, they got some other shit. Encore. Black Beauty. Fuck. America the Beautiful. So a lot of smaller stuff, something that they can make some type of pocket change off of by pimping it out a little bit. But I can't imagine, you know, it's like, well, we're just gonna get rid of this gigantic hotel that we had Imagineers come in and fully design. That's my gripe with it, right? Is all the hard work that was involved with people that actually made it, and it almost seems like just a general disrespect for the effort and talent that went into creating it, by just tossing it away because you're done playing with it and shit, you know?
Well, at this point, they should just make it a hotel.
Yeah, get rid of the
You know,
themed
take
employees.
Yeah, take away the whole, you know, show immersiveness. Just make it a hotel, lower your price, and still make money off of it.
Fucking
Instead of just
animatronics.
cutting it.
Yep. Lower the price, make it $400 a night, you know? $500 a night even. For a family of up to 4, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
hopefully they're not charging per person, because that's just not how hotels work. But if they were charging per person, that's kind of absurd. Like if they were saying, oh, this package accommodates this many people, then that's fine. But if really it costs more for 2 people to stay in a room than it does 1, then that's also a general issue. Didn't look into that, but bad if they're doing that. But yeah, really, it's like, okay, yeah, just cut all the thick shit, all the employees that you have to pay for dressing up and an hour worth of makeup to go and dance and sing and shit. Get rid of that. Replace them with some droids. You know, bring in fucking Rex, dude, DJ Rex. He's on location. He's a guest host from his trip over from Tatooine and shit. You know,
He's doing what do you call it, residency.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
yeah. Because I mean, he's in the cantina. You know, he's in the background playing music and shit. Did you see what did I just watch that had Rexes in it? It had a bunch of fucking Rex droids. Shit, I've watched a lot of Star Wars recently.
Was
bro.
it Mandalorian when he went to the droid bar?
Yes, possibly yes. I think it was. But yeah, there
That
was.
episode?
So yeah, it might have been, but also I've watched a lot of Rebels, and I basically watched everything Star Wars now. I've caught up fully, so I could have been anything. Could have literally been fucking Clone Wars, the movie, for all I know. But yeah, they made a little reference. Bring him in, bro. Everybody's a fucking fan favorite. Aside from that, what else is there that would justify such an insanely high price? Just the general theme of it, like
Well, I mean, the whole high price is just giving you that whole effect of being on a cruise, right? So you take all that away, that whole included food, like Kenny was going over the food, the drinks, and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Just
Yeah.
take all that away, put a simple, your typical hotel restaurant, and then let people explore the rest of Disney World on their own.
hmm
And yet you still have this immersive thing for not immersive thing anymore, but this themed, hotel for kids to enjoy, kind of like Legoland. You know,
never been.
I've never been either. I don't have kids. I don't have to worry about any of that. But Legoland. You look at the hotel rooms and they're themed. There's like the pirate Lego. There's different types
Yeah.
of Legos.
Beds
and-
made out of actual Legos that you have to
I
lay
mean,
on.
they even
Yeah,
they even
so,
do that for
it's all
the
hard and
hotel in California for Disney, right? Like it's a somewhat of a themed hotel, but like you don't have to.
It's more classy. It's not as
but
gaudy
you don't-
and
yeah, but you don't have to like get fully immersed in it. Like you're there for the hotel. Yeah, it costs you an arm and a leg, but you then can go to Disneyland. Like,
yeah, and you don't have to worry about park hopping too much when it comes to Disneyland.
yeah.
I did park hop when I was down there. Went to Avengers Campus, super lame. There was nobody walking around. There was no show going on. I was standing there where like you would see the Spider-Man animatronic. It was just dead silent, nothing going on. Walked over to the, don't even know what you would call it, but it was like a prop place. It's like where you would buy expensive shit. Like if you wanted a real Captain America shield, like a fucking $400, $500 Captain America shield, that's where you'd go. You want Loki's spear or staff or Thor's hammer or it was a Stormbreaker. There you go. Like they got Stormbreaker there, So it's like all the expensive shit, but it was really like if you were at like a comic convention and they were just renting out space inside a warehouse. And like everything was just like in the middle of this gigantic like room on stands and shit. And it's like, okay, what the fuck? This is weird. So there was that. Then you leave. There's a couple other shops where you go buy, a Marvel specific shit, and then you're right back out into California Adventure, and there's really nothing. Like there was nothing going on. It was just kind of lame. And then you see like Guardians, right? Like the old Tower of Terror, like Guardians is connected to it, I guess. But other than that, there's like nothing there. It's super fucking lame. Like we literally did a loop, got some expensive ass ice cream and some food, and then went back to Disneyland. So if you're going, not really needed unless you want to get tanked. Like downtown Disney is where you go to get tanked. But in regards to Disney World, you got so much to juggle. They kind of block off all these experiences from you. They paywall you. So yeah, just make it a regular hotel. Downplay some of the live shit. Let people, do their thing. Don't charge arm and a leg. But it has to be one of those things where it's like the hotel costs so much money that the only way for them to ever make the money back was to charge like that. And right now they're probably just cutting costs. It's just like just cutting it. Just like we'll just take the loss and move on. If I were to do a Star Wars themed shit, I wouldn't have done a cruise ship. I would have done Coruscant
Yeah, that'd be cool.
as some type of elevated hotel that resembles the platforms that Coruscant is on.
I can
and
see that.
Have it be super bougie up there, super, if you want to make it expensive, whatever, but be willing to drop, that's where you buy Dooney and Burke, purses and wallets and shit. And then, you could buy Gucci shit there. You could, make it like this really posh place.
Yeah, it's only 10 grand a night.
I mean, that's when you would be like, okay, so maybe it's worth like $5 grand a night,
Bro, this is Vegas.
So like, that's what you'd have to do. You'd have to create some type of Vegas. What comes to mind? I was gonna say Little Caesars. Caesars. Caesar's Palace. Like they got that themed like shopping mall. Which I remember asking on
area.
Bellagio also kind
Yeah.
of bougie. A little bit of Mandalay Bay.
Venetian.
Yep, Venetian.
Yeah, you know that vibe. That like, damn, there's some money floating around this motherfucker. You know, you just get that feel like, damn, fuck, it's
Well,
expensive.
Bellagio is where like all the like high end shops are.
Yeah, that's just always been the case, you know. But they did not do that. They went with some fucking gaudy ass shit prison bullshit that they wanted to charge $5,000 for.
They went with Little Caesars.
They went the Little Caesars route and shit. So yeah, I mean, we got a lot of cutting from Disney. I mean, you know, we also have the price increase for Disney Plus supposedly that's coming, and we'll talk about it here in the roundup that we're gonna be segueing into. But they also are going to be combining platforms here later in the year. So it's like, what the fuck? What is going on? Like, what are we paying? What are we paying for? Like, I don't even know. You know what I mean? So it kind of seems like they're scrambling. So yeah, moving on. Rip Galactic Starcruiser though. We'll see you. We'll see you later. Sorry, rip your fucking $5,000 room, stupid assholes. But yeah, next one on here. Finally, after 6 weeks of no store content updates, EA PGA Tour releases the Players Championship update. And Lucas, you said you haven't even fired this game up since you bought it, right?
Yeah, dude. Remember, I pre-ordered it, fired it up that night, saw nothing that I liked, and then you started playing it. That's when the whole packages started coming out.
Well, they opened up with the same shit, and it's like you come back, they like 3-day cycle of gear. A couple consistent like Masters theme shit.
Well, see, that's the thing I don't like about it is like it's only going around when it's like majors are coming up, and it's like I don't want a bunch of clothes
About like the U.S.
themed.
Open. And,
Yeah, dude.
yeah, but,
Like, come on, man.
yeah, and that's kind of lame too. It's like either I don't have any flat black shirt options, so I just have to wear the EA black shirt. It's like if I did want to have a black shirt, then I gotta like deal with it having like gray stripes on it or a stripe down the side or something weird. It's like, why can't I just have a black like Adidas shirt? Like why does it always have to be some weird shit? Like I don't want flowers on my shirt. Like why does it have a Hawaiian theme on it? Like why? So they don't have that, and that's like the issue with these games. And 2K does the same thing where it's like, oh, we'll give you like FootJoy Classics, but you're only gonna have white and blue. And it's like, it's like, okay, well, I guess I'll only wear blue clothes or have some funky ass offset shoes that don't match and shit. It's like something stupid to bitch about, but really, I mean, you know, part of golf, you know, when you're playing, you're out there, you know, shooting up scores and shit. You start kind of tightening up your image a little bit. You know, you like to look good out there, like, you know, shooting low scores and shit. So, you know, you want to express that through the game. Being able to buy a fucking black shirt doesn't seem like, you know, too big of an ask. But they do this thing where it's like, you know, it's like you can only buy a white, beige, and blue set of pants. And there are no black options, and you can't adjust those colors at all. Oh, and it's going to cost 15,000 in-game credits. It's like, what? Like, bro, it took me fucking like 3 hours to earn this like 8,000. Like, I got to play fucking like 6 hours to earn a pair of pants. Like, get the fuck out of here. And you know, you had Scotty come in, you know, pretty nice. You had some putters show up. They had like a black Scotty, a handful of different Scotty shop head covers. Lucas, I'm surprised you're not into that. Club Cameron, very cheap. You just got to be there. You know what Club Cameron is?
No.
Club Cameron is where it's like a specific day in like February or March or something like that. And they open them up to a limited number of people, and it's like $150 or something. And if you manage to land a membership, then they send you a custom members only limited edition for that year Scotty Cameron head cover that normally look pretty dope. You can look at it right now if you type in Club Cameron.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
They will
$129.
throw in like a head cover for like a wood or something like that. They may throw in like a sweatshirt or a thermal flask or,
Umbrella.
you know, they have a set. Every year they have a set of different things. The one that I wanted so fucking bad was that they had a a mini pro bag for golf balls. You know, you like go into like golf shops and they have like the mini pro bags,
That'd be
and
dope.
it's not for clubs. It's too small. It's just for golf balls, like a bucket of golf balls. Super sick. They had one of like a leather bag a few years ago. That came with like a thermal flash. You get like a ball marker. You just got to be there. And when you get into Club Cameron, those are the people that are allowed to purchase like the insane Scotty Cameron putters. They're the ones that get like the notifications that, you know, Scotty just finished this custom hand welded version of the Newport 2, blah, blah, goes up for $6,000, you know, like that people buying those putters and shit. But you need to be in Club Cameron to be able to do that. But the benefit to just getting the Club Cameron, I mean, aside from fucking somebody over who might actually buy the putters, but you know, you get your head covers, your limited edition head covers that end up selling for $150, $200, $300, $400 on Facebook and eBay and shit like that. Hopefully not too many people take advantage of that, but you know, if you're interested, that's something that I recommend. You just got to kind of get involved in that little community as to when they go live and be ready to like hop in there and just dump your money and buy your membership. And then you got a head cover that people will like woo over. What does this year's look like?
It's all black, like embossed with like some different symbols.
Fuck,
And they give you a pin.
Fuck, that's sexy.
Just what you were talking about. Just
jet
what you were
black,
talking
like,
about.
umbrella.
All your blackness.
Oh, look at that.
And then a Scotty Cameron pin.
Damn, that fucking umbrella is dope too. Oof.
And that little Scotty keychain.
Yeah. Worth. Is that not worth it? Like that to
I mean,
me,
it looks dope.
$130 for that set of limited edition. They got like 1,000 or something that they sell. Like that's it.
I'm sure that umbrella is like $130.
Yeah, and then you know the head cover alone. I mean, you can't buy them, but if you could, probably like $100 on their own. And that one looks fucking dope. I love the black theme ones, but they'll have like really audacious ones too. My recommendation, if you guys are into that shit, you might have some expendable cash. Jump into that shit. I digress. I'm just saying that like Scotty Cameron is pretty prestige. You know, it's not something that you see in golf games, let alone Titleist.
Right.
FootJoy. So I was hoping that they would blow this out and you'd have a constant flow. I've been over this, just spinning the wheels on this conversation, but I too do not like the fact that they're just being like, oh, whenever a major tournament comes up, then we'll just do a dump, you know. Don't like that. But as of now, you can go in if you like the Jordans and you're kind of waiting for different ones. What they did was they added a couple new ones and then just gave you access to all the ones that they were kind of like cycling. Same thing with clubs. They let you get, you know, they added a few clubs like Titleist 3-wood finally. Then I was able to finish my set, some different shafts. What's that big ass putter? Grip? What's that brand?
Super Stroke?
Super Stroke, yeah.
I hate the fact that game fucking has that. Fuck Super Stroke. Remember? God damn it, I hate the fact that people actually like kept that around. It was like, remember Espy? He came with that shit and he was like,
They're
it's
like super
amazing,
popular
blah, blah.
putter grips, dude.
They were
Yeah.
popular when they first came out, but also like I just hate them. I hate.
A lot of people use them.
It was one of those things. Well, a lot of people suck too. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. I do not give a fuck what people do and shit. You don't see too many Super Strokes on the tour, which is a good thing. They're bopping around, but you know,
BDC, bro. uses one.
big dick. What? Who?
Bryson DeChambeau.
Oh. What did I just see? I saw something online where somebody, was it Brooks?
Him and Brooke got paired this weekend again.
Did they really?
Yeah, because they're like right next to each other in the standings.
Is it true that he had like them come out and blow the greens because there was like seven?
that was Brooks. Yeah,
You're lying.
Brooks.
There's no way that was that.
There was literally a video of it. Well, I'll send it to you afterwards.
Two groundskeepers came out with blowers.
Literally for like 8 leaves.
And he talks about slow play. He's the one complaining about slow play, but he's the one that's going out there complaining.
I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
Yeah, ever.
Why would
So
anybody assume
yesterday.
that's a thing that a pro player can do, is to make
Yeah.
demands like that? Well, it's like Tiger and the Rock. Remember
Boulder, yeah.
the Boulder?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Did you see employees,
Removable impediment?
fucking groundskeepers coming out to move the rock out of the way for him and shit? Like, no. Tend to your
Although-
line, idiot. What the
Yeah,
fuck
dude.
is that?
That's why you have a caddy, right?
Yeah, like painstakingly get your ass down there and remove the needles and the leaves. What is that? Like, I'm beside myself because I didn't think that was true. I thought it was just like online
Oh,
bullshit.
there's a legit video of like the greenskeepers with.
No, I saw
leaf
that.
blowers. Yeah.
There was two of them, right? It was like two
Yeah.
guys that came through, but I can't even imagine a world where any pro golfer would assume that they can like just make a demand like that. Like I would.
I guess that's what happens on Live now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that LIV?
Probably. I mean, he's
I
on
mean,
live.
maybe I don't know. That's where he is.
Is it really? Okay, I'm not up to snuff on
Yeah,
any of
he's-
that
He's
shit.
been with Live since they started.
Oh, okay, so fuck him.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's been on
gotcha.
live, but I mean, this is
Fantastic.
happening on the
I mean,
PGA
this is-
Championship.
Oh, was it the championship?
Yeah, that's this
it's
weekend
this
right now.
weekend.
I don't. I that's fuck.
This is
That
the
got me.
PGA allowing this to happen. So
That got me. That's no. That's one of those things where now we're starting to overstep our understanding of like the honor that's involved in the sport. You know what I mean? I bitch a lot about this on like Instagram too. I need to stop. I need to stop like commenting on people's shit because it's always just like, who the fuck? Like, why is somebody telling you to do this? And why are you? It's like you see somebody do some obscure ass like little quick lesson, right? And you know, you're just like, that would just fuck somebody up so bad. Like, it's like, if you want to fix your slice, then close the face like this at a dress. And when you're swinging, do this with your arm. But it's like, that is compensation. Like that, or that's
Yeah, it
it's
doesn't-
compensating. Or not fixing the issue.
Yep.
You know, it's like, ugh. Like I need to stop getting into those conversations and shit. I also like fucking peasant behavior, because I mean, classism was the thing in the game of golf, right? Can we all agree?
100%.
Even going back to movies that you can watch, all golf movies essentially have some
Yeah,
type of
I mean-
classism involved.
All of them.
There's a lot of
like Caddyshack.
even Caddyshack, yeah, for
fucking
sure, is very
yeah.
much about that.
Yeah.
But just golf in general was a game of dignity, respect, honor. It's the only sport where you're left to referee yourself. You know,
yeah, not after COVID.
yeah, it's like I don't know what the fuck happened, man. Like, there are so many yahoos out there. I'm in some back and forth with some dipshit on Instagram right now, because he's like, oh, you guys bitch about, bringing in food, and I'm sitting there with my fucking 12-pack of blah, 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 and eating nice and blah, blah. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, they're not going to take anything from me. And it's like, bro, you don't understand. Yeah, nobody's going to tell you to do this and that. It's like, yeah, you little blowhard. But really, it's about the fact that the green fees reflect the fact that the projected revenue from you being there is going to roughly be X amount of dollars per group. So they expect you to go in and pay $10, $20 on chips, hot dog, drinks, yada yada, and then that is going to then help fund food and beverage, which will then help them book more banquets, and then it's just this ripple effect. So you taking up a tee spot for a potential higher paying customer that would actually participate in the act of playing ball with how everything works and shit, that you would dump a little bit more money. It's kind of like nowadays you're expected to have a tip in the back of your mind, ready to go, instead of just what you get, your receipt for. It's kind of the same thing. It costs $35 at your local golf course to play around a golf, because they're hoping that, that tee spot will generate an additional $20, $40, $50 in F&B revenue. And these yahoos who can't even have the decency to understand and grasp that aspect of the sport are just like the same yahoos that are out here, flipping carts and doing stupid shit. And, we've all been very much exposed to the golf course life and know the types of people that come through. And this whole like blowing of the leaves and all that shit, it kind of, I don't know, it harkens back to that type of mentality, right? Where it's just like, there's just a general lack or decline in appreciation and respect of the sport and how uptight it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, it is supposed to be uptight. Am I wrong? You're supposed to have a bit of a reverence for the sport and snapping your fingers and having literal groundskeepers come out to blow a handful of leaves off the green for you is like disgusting behavior.
Yeah.
But I digress from the conversation about the game being updated. You do have some new stuff. You have new courses. What is it? Oak Hill over in
New York
New York.
and Southern Hills.
In Southern Hills, which was listed as one of the courses originally. I could have remembered,
Yeah,
but
that's what I thought.
it was added. Played a little bit of it. Yeah, it's cool. Whatever. But yeah, it's still a little shaky ground with that game. You know, I might play a little bit of it on stream tonight. See if I can earn some money.
They also added you know how you were talking about earlier was the cup, how you lipped out.
The lip out
Yeah,
mechanics.
so they
and
added
shit.
more character to the lip outs.
It looked horrible, and I laughed about this too because it's more noticeable now than it was prior. And people were, I guess, were bitching about lip outs not really happening. It was just burning past like left, right edges. They added this lip out mechanic, but my ball was going left side in, and it dipped into the hole like you would get if it were to lip. But instead of redirecting its angle after it dipped into the hole, it just kind of came back out and continued on the same line. So it's almost like they just added a little animation. They didn't have it actually physically mimic where the ball would go if it did lip the inside of the hole. You know what I mean? So still some monkeys banging around rocks and shit making the game, but you know, it is what it is. It's just the best we got currently. Moving on here, we got Beetlejuice 2 release date confirmed for September 6th, 2024. Willem Dafoe cast as an afterlife cop, like detective and shit.
How old is he? Is he like 80?
He's
No.
old.
I mean,
He's old, dude.
I think he's probably, I would say 70s.
he's old, but he's
Yeah.
still like not like he's not like decrepit and shit. What the fuck? He's like, I mean, you saw him in Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, I was about to say he's young enough to play Green Goblin again.
Yeah. And did it pretty much better than he did prior.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's old, but I mean, so is like Michael Keaton, bro. I mean, he's gonna be like heavily under makeup, but so is Defoe. He's probably gonna have like that green hue, right? He's probably gonna be like a daddy.
Yeah,
But you know,
he's-
that's gonna be
Does
kind
he
of
need
funny.
makeup? Because he already looks dead.
Hey, well,
yeah, I
bro.
know, right?
Damn. Well, there's got to do something. There's always some reference to how they died in their makeup, right? Like the head shrink, the God, I forgot her name. Oh, it's around the tip of my tongue. They're like death agent or whatever, like their representative or whatever. I forget. Cujo or some shit. I forget. But she had like her throat slit, you know, where she was like smoking a cigarette and the smoke was coming out of it and shit.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
there's probably going to be some type of reference to it. He probably got shot or something like that. You know what I mean? But I mean, that's got to be kind of funny, right? You're going to have some type of like cat and mouse chasing, you know, he's going to be chasing Beetlejuice for his fucking crimes against humanity and shit. And then you're going to have, what's her face?
Jenna Ortega.
Jen Ortega is going to be playing, is it Lydia? I think Lydia Dietz is the name, or the daughter, which was played by Winona Ryder, right? Winona
Yeah.
Ryder. Don't know if she's coming back. Have you guys heard if she's coming back?
They haven't confirmed anything actually.
I mean, she's in the acting game right now. You know, she's doing shit. I don't see why she would turn down another opportunity to work with him. She's worked with them multiple times.
Oh no, she is. She is.
Oh, she's confirmed.
Yeah,
Nice.
she's
Okay,
channels Lydia Dietz again for Beetlejuice 2.
nice. So she'll probably just be a little bit dark. I mean, obviously you can't bring back the other two, maybe, but I mean, how do you explain aging, you know, as ghosts? It doesn't make any sense. But so there'll probably be some type of deal there where like they went on, you know, they moved on or whatever. Their souls were freed or whatever. So the house is not as active with ghost activity, and then maybe Beetlejuice pops up again and he starts doing some crazy shit.
Beetlejuice had a wife,
Did he?
apparently.
Yeah.
He's
I mean, there was a
going-
cartoon series.
He's gonna have one in part 2, so we'll see.
I mean, just that character though. Like, I could just see it where he just like comes home after a day of just being an asshole. And he's all like burnt out and shit. Like the Freddy Krueger knockoff from Rick and Morty and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Bitch.
yeah. I'm gonna cut you up, bitch.
You could run, but you can't hide.
I mean, that's just the meme about Freddy Krueger. Is he always says that. Welcome to prime time, bitch. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm ready for that. I like Michael Keaton. I think he can get back into that role. I don't know if you've seen Birdman. He's pretty eccentric in that.
That was weird.
It was a weird
really
movie, but it was whatever. Can't really call it too weird. I rewatched Scott Pilgrim recently, and that's pretty fucking weird too and shit.
Classic.
So I like that. I like that type of deal. Just think how the sandworms are gonna look now. It's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a good one. We'll see. Flaming Hot trailer drop. What do you guys think?
Jesus Christ. I watched it again. Just kind of refresh, and it's dumb. It's
What do you
dumb.
mean? Why? It's cookie cutter.
It's too much.
It's just
too
cookie
much
cutter.
of. I don't even know what to say. It's like too much ghetto-ness in it.
Okay, so
It's like,
there
come
was
on, dude.
there
I
was
mean, he's
one
a
where
janitor and stuff. I get it, but it's like not. It's
my
like
mom
your
said.
stereotypical
I mean, I don't remember the house looking like that. I remember it differently in my head, but she did say that it does look pretty similar to the house. The streets where like the cholos and shit are, where they're like they're in their like lowriders and shit.
Yeah.
That looks very much like that area. Even the park looked like the park across the street from my grandma's house. But they could have just filmed anywhere else. I don't think they filmed on location at this place. But the theme of the trailer is very much on the side of this being how this happened, right? And we had the discussion as to Frito-Lay or Frito-Lay coming out and being like, no, that's not how it happened. A bit of information when I shared this trailer with my mom. She was like, yeah, his cousin also claims that that's not accurate. Like the story, like how things went down is not really how it went down. But other people close to him have not said otherwise. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's like an estranged cousin. I don't believe it's some like close, live in the same household, know all the discussions type of involvement. But there is a bit of speculation even within his own family as to the validity of his claims as how all this went down. But again, kind of confirmed it's fucking a janitor that became an exec, and the in between, I guess, is left to interpretation. This does feel a little eccentric, it does feel a little extra.
Doing some digging right now. It wasn't even filmed here. It was filmed in Plano, Texas.
I can see that. Yeah. So they always do that. I mean, it's the Ontario National was the fucking Detroit, the old Detroit airport in fucking Catch Me If You Can. You know what I mean? Like, they always do that. Of course they do that.
Mm-hmm.
They do that all the time. A lot of places are shot in Georgia.
Georgia, yeah, and Vancouver,
and then Vancouver, yeah, and then you have Australia. So there's specific big productions. What's that guy's name? The dude that he dressed up as a lady and played like an aunt, and he had like all those movies.
Medea?
Yeah. Who's that guy?
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry just opened like a giant film studio in Georgia, I believe. So they do that. They, of course, I don't have any issues with that whatsoever. Like, they shot Batman, Gotham. They didn't use the real Gotham, I know. I'm sorry, but they did use, I think, like downtown Chicago or something like that.
Yeah, they use a lot of like Chicago areas, especially for the
New York,
the
too.
Nolan.
New York's
Batman
tough
series.
because of just the density, but
But anyways, this trailer was.
you're like
It's
he's not too bad, but there is a bit where he's just like, I got a little street there, my bad and shit. It's like, all right, fuck, chill out. Like, chill out. But this is Eva Longoria. You were like, this is racist.
It is racist.
it's Eva Longoria produced
Oh, you're
like all
telling
that
him,
shit. We got
"Chingon." It's
this
like,
is a Latino project. So this is from
Terrible.
start to finish. It's full Latino, so you can't consider it racist because it's just it's corny way of representing themselves and shit.
no, it's stereotyping.
I mean, you know, fuck.
Stereotyping.
Listen
She's
to all of
stereotyping
George
everybody.
Lopez's
She's not even
material.
like Mexican. She's like Cuban or something.
Yeah, I mean, I said Latino. Fool. Like,
All right,
say
whatever.
fucking like
Latin
Mexican.
X, I guess, if you want to cross it
but-
over.
Yeah. It's just another movie. It's just another cookie cutter, you know, like rags to riches story. A little eccentric, a little corny, you know, like you are you, you know, believe in yourself. And it's like
Yeah.
this one did not go through
Terrible.
conversations like that. I get it. But I just wanted to see whether or not they were going to lean into the story of him being the one, and I guess it is. So I'm gonna give it a watch. You probably won't, and if you do, you'll probably be there
My
just
bad,
talking
Eva Longoria.
mad shit, bro. You'll probably just be talking mad shit.
I mean,
It's
he'll
just
watch it
annoying when
because
they-
it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
technically I already paid for it.
Hopefully, take it down.
No Eva Longoria though in the movie, so fail. I mean,
My bad,
maybe
she-
know of.
she is
unless she
bad.
looks older and like you know like more haggard, and I just didn't recognize her playing like a role or something. But you know, is she married to like Derek Jeter or some shit?
No, it was Tony Parker, but that was back in the day.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. But yeah, it's you know, we'll see. This was hating on that shit as per usual. Next one on here, Hogwarts Legacy Switch release delayed until November 14th,
Again.
2023. I think this shit was supposed to come out like a month after the other ones released or
Wasn't it in
something, or something like that. Dude, November 14th now. Damn, why even bother?
Just
And then they're just gonna
wait for the
cancel it.
next Nintendo console to come out.
It's
Which,
gonna be a Nintendo Direct.
well, there's speculation as right now as Nintendo's very much like, you know, tight-lipped on it, but supposedly there is development on their next system, which, I mean, it doesn't seem like it, but it has been long enough to where they can start doing that.
I'm gonna say it's what, been
Like 5 years.
yeah,
It's
it's
been
been
a
a while
while.
since the Switch came out.
Yeah, 5 or 6 years. So we're not, you know, it's not some new thing. So, you know, there's some speculation that they've had that in the background. They're working on it. But they didn't want to make any announcements or anything like that to discourage Switch sales of Tears of the Kingdom. They didn't want to conflict with that. But I mean, if you look at it, same fucking thing that they did with the Wii U is that they released the Zelda game right at the transition point between that and the new system. And I believe when they released that game, it was not announced that they were releasing the Switch yet. So it was kind of like your only option to play the game, and then they brought in the Switch with better graphics and shit.
Yeah.
So that's why I own 2 copies of a game that I've never fucking played, like beat. You know what I mean? The second one was a gift. Like when I was gifted the console, they gave me a game with it, and I was like, oh, okay. Haven't played it. Not gonna play the new one. I know I'm not gonna finish it, so there's no urgency to get it. But you know, I guess people are enjoying it quite a bit. But as for Hogwarts Legacy, man, I'm not sure how that thing's gonna fucking run on it. It's gonna look like a fucking
It's gonna
mobile
be like
game. dude.
30 FPS all
Yeah.
the time.
Dude, it struggles on consoles and PC. You fucking trying to downgrade it to basically like a Texas Instrument and shit version of the
Yeah.
game. That's gonna be rough. Be forewarned on that one, people. If you're considering waiting for the Switch version, it might very well be the worst experience you can choose. Out of all the methods of playing it, you know what I mean. So tread carefully.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's the only option you got, then it's the only option you got.
Yeah. Another PlayStation Direct coming, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
God,
Another one.
That one.
I don't-
One.
I don't think I'm on the fence of even whether or not to. I thought this was going to be a one show per company per year. You know, talk about it and move on. But now it's like every month I'm hearing that there's going to be another PlayStation show or another Nintendo show or whatever. So,
Hey, you know what? It's content. All right.
I mean, maybe is it? Like we didn't even talk about the last one because all it was Final Fantasy and shit. You know.
Yep.
So I mean, we'll see. Fuck, I don't know. That's not a story I listed on here. I just remembered that right now when I was thinking about it. But fuck, there's another show coming up, and then you got Comic-Con coming up. You know, fuck, man.
Yeah.
We had the Comic-Con show last year. That was, I think, episode 4 or 5 or something like that. So I'll try to get Garrett on here. Probably won't work out, but that'll be a show that'll be pretty packed with announcements and previews and just fuck. Our last show was long. It's gonna be different because there's a new structure this year, but yeah, that's gonna be a beefy one for sure. That's a show. That's content. I don't give two flying fucks about PlayStation having hour long direct for specifically one game. Like, I don't care. We do have Starfield coming up soon and their little presentation with Microsoft. So more of it coming, boys. It is what it is. Kenny Games, Amazon Games, announces pre-production on the Lord of the Rings MMORPG. I believe
people still play the original one still? I think people do.
I believe they do. Yeah, I was gonna say, I believe the original one's still active.
Yeah.
I could bring that up actually right here. Lord of the Rings Online, right?
Yeah.
Now this may be a little bit more. What's 1,358 current players.
I mean, more than I thought. So.
It's dismal for an MMO, but
yeah,
it's still active. There are servers. What are those? The Middle Earth games are pretty solid. Definitely not going to call them bad or boring games. Pretty solid, especially with the what's it called? Rival system or
oh well, that was Shadow of Mordor.
Well, there you got Shadow of Mordor and it's Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor, and then Middle Earth.
Yeah, it was like
Shadow
of
War.
The general system or whatever. They have like you kill someone like ranks up, or
and it ripple effect between But have you seen the video of the guy destroying the dude's brain?
Yeah, like it gets intense.
So basically you can do one of two things. You can kill them, or you can torture them, their mind.
Yeah.
And then you can let them go. And there was a video years ago where a guy did it to the same boss over and over and over again. And by the end of it, he couldn't even put together words and sentences. He just whined and just made grunting noises because the choices that you made and the damage that you inflicted on that character actually made them brain dead, mentally deficient. So an super intricate rival system, I forget what it's called. But it's very blown out, and that's kind of what was expected with other WB games. What was the more recent one? We just talked about Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah.
They were hoping that there was going to be some type of system like that too, honor system as well. Recent reports.
I was reading an article or something like that they were flirting with the idea that there was going to be a morality system.
Yeah,
and so the decisions that you made would affect how you looked and things like that.
Fable
which would have been
type of shit.
Yeah, which would have been really cool.
Which was you would expect, actually. It's not too far fetched, especially with something like that. Another theme that it would work with would be Star Wars. The light and the dark.
Light and dark. Yeah.
Same thing with Hogwarts.
KOTOR.
They did it with KOTOR. Fable is another type where your choices make a difference.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what took away a little bit from Hogwarts Legacy. It took away from that impact of it being, the choices you make. People going around school just murdering people in front of teachers and shit. Nothing happens. You could literally just Avada Kedavra students in the middle of class and nothing happens. So a little hollow there. So I mean, that's kind of what people are hoping they're going to reintroduce back into the Lord of the Rings with an MMORPG, is to have that type of vibe. And the Shadow of War, that's considered one of the best games of the last decade. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I think it'd be cool though to play on the side of Sauron and Saruman.
Yeah.
Be a
one of those crazy. What are those called? The Orkai. Yeah, the Orkai. my thing is, and you got to watch out with Lord of the Rings these days and the decisions they're making. But it's like you have plenty of maps to work off of, all right?
Yeah.
In my mind, I can see Middle Earth. I know where everything is, right? You know, it's all very much laid out. It's all there. Tolkien very explicitly laid out where everything is. And it's so vast and big that it perfectly is set up for an MMO. I just don't want them to just get flippant with it and being like, oh, well, we'll put the tower over here instead, and like his realm is over here, and like we don't need to worry about what was it, like I forget what it's called, but it's where the blue wizards went, to the right side of the continent. That's why you never see them in the movies, and you rarely hear about them from the books, but the blue wizards are over there, and then you got, you know, Saruman, and you got Gandalf, and what's his name? The brown wizard.
Shoot.
The one with fucking bird shit in his hair. I forget. But,
Yeah.
you know, like, they're all part of it. You know, that's very much laid out. So if you want to give me a Shadow of War, but is a very accurate representation, like Hogwarts was with how they approach that, I'm so fucking down for that MMORPG, bro. Like, that's got some bite to it, you know. That's got some lore that I could definitely be like, hell yeah, like I'm down to create a character in that world. Very much like Star Wars, very much like, I'll say very much, but like Hogwarts Legacy, you know. It's got a lot more grit to it, where it's like, yeah, I would like to be like an elf, you know, in Rivendell and shit, and then you know, have to go fight on the side and be involved in these big battles and shit. Like, that'd be fucking dope. I'm down, super down. No word as to when that game's gonna come out. It's just they announced the deal with what is it, Middle Earth Enterprises, whatever the fuck the company is that's in charge of Tolkien's shit, but Amazon Games, they settled it. They got that coming in the pipeline. Pretty stoked. Kid will probably be in fucking school when that game comes out.
Yeah.
So I got a couple hours a day to play. What up? After the UK CMA rejected the Activision Blizzard acquisition for Microsoft, EU regulators approves the deal shortly thereafter, sending the CMA of UK into a public temper tantrum on Twitter. So, I mean, we've been over this, right? The entire basis, they looked at the landscape and they said, damn, Sony has like 60-70% of market share. So obviously they're in the wrong. Like, they have no grounds to stand on. Now, in equal measure, in equal weight and gravity of this situation, in a 1-to-1 comparison, Microsoft has 60-70% market share in cloud gaming. So, obviously, because those two things are equatable, this deal has to be canceled. Like, there's no, like, people will pay money to play COD on cloud. Like, people will probably never pay money to play COD on cloud. Fucking Lucas, it's like a light switch when he plugged in his fucking landline into his console and realized the difference between playing off Wi-Fi and playing on hardline.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Now take that and blow it out to the absolute most absurd level of detached gameplay. You know, where you're not only going through your router, but then you're going to a web service, and the game is being played on a server somewhere else. That is then relaying back to you through your router, through your console, and into your eyeballs. There's going to be a noticeable delay that'll probably never go away, and is imperative to not be there when you're playing a game like COD or Overwatch or any other game that requires pinpoint accuracy and you know, knee-jerk reactions. It's just not going to be the case. So that's why everybody's like, you're stupid. So instead of, you know, just not saying anything like they should have done, they got bombarded in the comments on Twitter about how they're stupid and they don't understand cloud gaming at all, and that how anybody that has ever played cloud gaming immediately calls bullshit on this and even damages the credibility of their agency. You know, this group of individuals left to just decide whether or not something can or can't happen in another country's business. But you have the EU and the UK, right? You have the whole, what was it called? The Brexit, right? So you got the UK pulling out of the EU, but you have the entirety of the EU being like, oh no, this is fine. Then you got Japan being like, oh no, this is fine. You got like Ukraine being like, oh no, this is fine. And US, it's a little pissing match that's going on, but there's nothing really they can do. They can still go through with it. It's been kind of confirmed. It's fine. The only ones holding it up are the UK. So naturally, now they look like idiots. So they're getting fucking shit on the internet, based on the tone that they're rattling off these messages, and verifying their stance on the matter. Don't think there's going to be any compromise going on. If anything, I think they're going to dig their heels in a bit. So it's big. I mean, it's like I said, it's number 6.
You gotta weigh the pros and cons.
You got Japan, China, America, and stuff like that above it. Like Canada is just above it. It's a pretty big poker chip to play with.
They'll make a deal with the UK, and at some point, you gotta, like I said, you gotta weigh the pros and cons of it. You gotta, is it worth acquiring, or is it worth losing a shit ton of subscriptions?
I mean, I think that question could have been answered when Blizzard had to pull out of China because of the whole NetEase shit. So the answer would be like no, which is why it's like, okay, so Microsoft is just flexing now. Like now they're bitter. You know what I mean? Like they're doing it for the principle of the matter now. Because I mean, there has to be at least, I don't know, 10% of the value of the original deal had to just blink out of existence overnight because of what happened with China. You know what I mean? Yep. Not to mention all the other shit that's going on with Diablo 4 and WoW tanking and Overwatch. We're going to talk about it here in a minute, but Overwatch and some of the decisions that they're making there and the people they've lost. But I don't know. If it seems to me like if they were to be like, okay, guys, things have changed in all this time. You guys aren't worth as much as you originally were. So we're going to either have to redo this deal or call it off. But now it seems like they're doing it out of principle because they're not even bothering reworking the deal. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, that's a big enough poker chip. I think that if they did choose to just go through with it and leave UK out, that eventually UK would cave just because of public outcry. Microsoft is really the only company that could withstand that loss for that period of time.
Or you chance it and you have the people from UK just boycott the shit out of Microsoft because they fail to fight for them. They're going to see it as a negative, and it could go south.
Yeah, I mean, if it goes south, if they do not buy ABK will be gone in the next like decade. Like that's the thing that people are like always like leaving out. It's like the reason this deal exists is because like Activision needs it. You know what I mean? And as more time goes on, the more they need it. And it's like they're sitting there biting their nails because they know that they're dumping in brand notoriety, in trustworthiness, and in just public reception in general. This is not like good for like the company, and it's like people will lose their jobs because they have to find a way to scramble to save some money. Things will be sold, and I think that's really what they want. They want Activision to let go of Blizzard. They want Activision to let go of King. They want to kind of just break this up like it's a Bell boom, like the Bell breakup back in the 80s. But I don't know. I really do see a world without Activision making COD. Doesn't mean COD's not going to be sold off to Bungie, Ubisoft, I don't know, like any of the other CD Projekt Red, like no idea. Like those rights could be sold off to other companies, but you're going to lose what makes COD because it's not made by those same companies anymore. They may still work with, Infinity Ward and that type of thing. Who knows? But really, it's like people are fighting off Microsoft like they're there to steal COD from them, but it's like, bro, like they're literally desperate to save COD, and that's why they went to Microsoft in the first place. You know what I mean? So we will see. The CMA has really kind of just, it's rake stepping, dude. They took a step forward, stepped on a rake, and it fucking hit him in the face and shit. It's like the whole Sideshow Bob fucking stepping on rakes and shit. That's that whole mentality. So we will see. We will see. I just wanted to go through and be over with because I'm sick of fucking hearing about it. Five Nights at Freddy's, first trailer for that drops. You guys see that?
Yeah,
I
weird.
did. Yeah.
Looks pretty good. Not bad. Looks creepy. Yeah. Looks like exactly what it needs to be. You know.
Yeah, it's got that, definitely got that creepy vibe for sure.
I think it's a little rough for the kind of kid, like the age demographic of the kids that you typically hear talking about Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
8, 9, 10, 11-year-olds. This one looks a little tough, you know, like a little rough on that one, you know. It might be a little bit too leaning into the dark Netflixy type theme, you know. But we'll see. I've only played like one of those games, and only for a little while, so I could see how it appeals to younger audiences, and whether or not it's going to be a little too gritty for younger audiences, I guess we'll see. That one comes on like October 27th, if I'm not mistaken.
Perfect for Halloween.
Yeah, I am definitely going to check it out if that's the case. Nicolas Cage DLC character to be added to Dead by Daylight.
Who wants that?
What do you mean?
Who's looking forward to that?
Nicolas Cage, it's like adding fucking Chuck Norris to something, you know. It makes everything better. It's like adding bacon to anything. Who is he playing?
You just compared Chuck Norris
to bacon? Hell yeah, bro. It goes good with everything and shit. I'm gonna make that shirt.
He's playing himself.
Is he playing himself, or is he playing like Renfield, like Dracula, or is he playing? Himself. Is he really? As what? I thought like as like a villain. It's like one of the boogeymen that run around and chase you and shit. It's just Nicolas Cage.
It's Nic Cage.
It's just
Nic Cage.
It's not even horror themed. It's just Nicolas Cage chasing you and shit.
So it's where Cage is actually playing himself and not another new character in Dead by Daylight's universe.
But is he like a character that you can play and like you're running from? That throws me off because typically they have a baddie, right? They'll throw in. Who do they have in Dead by Daylight? They have a lot of like cool characters that I've downloaded and stuff and added to my shit. I just don't remember, but they have cool, you know. I think didn't they add Scream to it? They got like witches and shit, and like, you know, a bunch of different variations.
They have a bunch of variations and characters now in Dead by Daylight.
And then the other characters are just people. You know, they're just like boy number 1, boy number 2, girl number 1, girl number 2.
Nick Cage number 1.
Nick Cage number 1. So I guess that's how it's going to be. I don't know.
Maybe
that's
you
weird.
get to play as Nick Cage.
I mean, if you get to play as Nick Cage, fuck, it's about time and shit. Look.
Hopefully he has like animations like from, you know,
he like does that little like thing
60
where,
seconds.
Yeah, where he like shakes his head really fast and with his hands and shit. He's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, grease butterfly and shit. Yeah, so I mean, that's if you're into Dead by Daylight, there you go.
And if
Nicolas
Nick
Cage,
Cage
inbound. He's coming. He's coming in hot. Last bit here: BlizzCon officially returning as an in-person convention this November, boys.
Do we need that?
I think that was the Anaheim Convention Center. Blizzard is
usually
Irvine,
somewhere Orange County or
to Irvine.
Yeah.
I mean, Comic-Con's doing it. I mean, why not? We got the government lift on the ban. Finally, baby had a doctor's appointment at the hospital a couple days ago and was finally able to walk in that bitch and not put a fucking mask on. It's nice. So, I mean, I guess we're over it, you know?
I mean, I still have to wear a mask at work. Fucking sucks.
Really?
Yeah. It's a Cal OSHA thing, not a government thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yikes. What the fuck?
I actually, so like my shift, we were able to not wear masks for 2 weeks, and then we literally just got a message saying that we got to put masks back on.
That's super strange because there's really no other. I mean, hospitals aren't even forcing you to do it anymore.
Yeah. It's like population of your building, and then number of cases, like with your
Employees.
your
Like, so the employees are getting COVID.
Yeah, they're or reporting a COVID case.
I mean, I'm not too distraught about that. I guess if they're
Yeah.
using it to kind of curtail flare-ups, I guess.
Yeah.
But as long as it's not like permanent, because on a federal basis, we're no longer in that. We can kind of move on,
Right.
and it is what it is. Damn. But I mean, when conventions, I mean, you are literally like smelling fucking butt crack odor of like everybody and shit. And
Yeah.
So
there's
gross.
just it's so musky and nasty, and the motherfucker.
They literally just need to hand out deodorant at the doors.
I mean, there's like concerts and shit where like
Maybe it should be a
Korean
requirement.
like pop stars were asking people to shower before going to their shows and shit. Pretty disgusting. Not great sitting in the halls either. You're like shoulder to shoulder with like neck beard, so you can only imagine. Walking through, you're like fucking, do I pass with fucking ass or crotch and shit? It's one of those, and then you realize you're just passing with both, so you're just like rubbing up against people and shit, and it's just fucking disgusting. They oversell the shit out of that. Don't think you're going to have too much of an issue at BlizzCon, but I mean, we need BlizzCon in person because we won't get, red shirt guy without it. We won't get those memorable moments where, don't you guys have phones? Like we won't have those beautiful Blizzard moments of
Yeah.
public shaming and shit. So we do need BlizzCon.
Dang, who do you think they get to close? They always have like some like Metallica.
You two. Yeah, you two. Aerosmith will be out there in wheelchairs and shit.
Smith
Um,
comes out with a walker. Are you
I
ready to
don't know.
rock?
Just bring in some orchestra that does music for the game and shit. Fuck, whatever, bro.
Well, he had like Muse. He had Weird Al Yankovic at one point.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I
And
mean-
Blink-182 for 1 year in Foo Fighters.
Oh, Foo Fighters?
Yeah.
Damn, how dare they? That'd be a good one.
Tenacious D.
I've already seen Foo Fighters live. I'll go see them again. It's pretty dope. I told you about that.
Foo Fighter
Foo Fighters opening
missing.
for what was it?
Was it ZZ Top?
Foo Fighters opening for ZZ Top.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck. That goes hard. Like, just even hearing that shit, like, you think it'd be the other way around, if anything, but no. They were there to
ZZ
fucking...
Top, but you didn't know who Tom Petty was.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I still
Oh,
fucking
this
don't
guy
care and shit.
fucking-
I edited that out of last week's episode.
I know you
my
did, you
God.
bastard.
I mean, for one thing, it was just how that whole thing went down. It wasn't serviceable. I couldn't,
Yeah.
it was just how, like, it wasn't, there was, like, searching involved, like, 10 minutes of, like, searching and, like,
I
just...
hope your mom was like, I cannot believe you didn't know who.
I don't know. I don't even know if she
Tom
gives a
Petty.
shit about Tom Petty, actually. Maybe.
Everybody.
And like to this
Except
day, it's
you.
like, okay, so if you were to like, okay, like, yeah, now, I can remember Tom Petty songs in my head, but even then, they're not anything like special to me. You know what I mean? But yeah, another thing with the Blizzard is that they just announced that they're getting rid of the PvE content for Overwatch 2, which leaves fans wondering what the fuck Overwatch 2 even is now. Because Overwatch 2, I mean, if you haven't looked at it, it's identical. It's like certain maps, they literally just changed them to night, and that's the difference. The game is identical, had like different types of earning systems involved, but the pull was that they were going to go the Fortnite route and flipped backwards, but they were going to add the PvE mode where you'd be able to play with other friends and shit. And now they scrapped it just very nonchalantly, like, yeah, just, looking at it, and for us to be able to deliver the quality of content that we want, we're just
I
no
bet you
longer going to be
they
able
didn't
to
even
offer
like
that.
have plans to actually even do the PVE. They
We
just
have
like
a-
threw it out there and then like to like debate everyone into buying.
I want to know what it was that caused that one dude to leave. The guy that was like always in charge of Overwatch, the guy with the glasses. Forget his name, but for him to up and leave, he was like the spearhead of this whole Overwatch 2 thing, right? And then after Overwatch 2 is in development, he just dips. So something had to have happened where Blizzard basically probably was just like, okay, so we're going to get rid of this, and this. And then what was left was like, it's literally just Overwatch. Why are we making an Overwatch 2 if we're not, we're just repackaging Overwatch and selling it as a new game, like, or giving it away as a new game? Why are we doing this? That might have been the reason why he left. Maybe they already knew that they weren't going to ever deliver on a PvE mode, and he got frustrated with the fact that they were forcing like them to lie and shit. Like, who knows? There's a lot of unanswered questions in regards to the. I mean, obviously we know that they like breast milk and shit. No answer needed for that. Fucking disgusting. So that is it for pretty much everything we had this week. Kind of drug that out a little bit. That's pretty much as expected, though. These shows will be a little bit longer. Kind of just relax, because keeping up on the news with the 2-week, like a bi-weekly schedule, is going to be difficult. You know what I mean? Like, some of these stories that we talked about have been out for a week and a half now, so we'll see what's up. But as always, have the free games and heavily discounted games section that always pop off. Also going to be a bit rough with this bi-weekly schedule, so make sure you follow the Instagram, because I do update them on there, as well as the Twitter. I do retweet the Epic and weekly free game bot that they have on there, so follow us on those. But for this week, Epic is doing the mystery game. I'm not sure if they're going to have a mystery game next week. I'm bringing it up right now. But this week, last week we had the Sims 4 DLC, which we did manage to mention on the show. And luckily, because it was a mystery game, there was no telling as to what was going to come up the next week. So this week is Death Stranding. If you haven't got it, obviously you want it. That's just one of those games, right? Lucas, you said you liked Death Stranding quite a bit.
It was a chill game.
Yeah, I don't know.
You
I
tried
tried
playing it for a little bit, but I mean, it gets old after a while. But I mean, when it first came out, it was a good game.
I'd say the traversing is a bit rough. I just don't like dealing with like the stranded, to be honest. I don't like that whole having to like hold my breath and creep around and shit. As for the game itself, it is fun. It's very open and grandiose, and I do recommend it. Free is always a good price, and that's one of those like top tier games that you have to get. So head on over, free on Epic Game Store until May 25th. Death Stranding by Kojima. And then we have another mystery game next week. I'm not sure what these mixed mystery games are being laid out for. Typically they would do this for Christmas, There's like starting December 14th or something. Every day there's a mystery game leading up to Christmas, and then then the event's over, but we're having some mystery games pop up. So no telling what it's going to be next week, so make sure you follow us on the Instagram and the Twitter for what's coming up on Epic Game Store, or just fire up your browser next Thursday and see what's up. Also free this week, also until May 25th, but over on Steam, Metro Last Light. Not sure if you guys played any of the Metro games. That's a first-person kind of futuristic. How would you describe it?
Isn't it kind of like futuristic, like apocalyptic?
Like COD meets like Half-Life.
Yeah.
Gary Rico. You remember Gary Rico?
Yeah.
He was legitimately ranked like number 14 in the world or something like that for what was the other one? Metro 20 blah 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 or whatever. There was some Metro game, and I used to watch him stream, and he used to stream a little bit. And he was actually really good. Metro is actually a pretty solid set of games. If you haven't played it, I mean, that's free, dude. Head on over. Steam, May 25th is when that's leaving. So, first-person shooter on that one. And that is it for this week's show. You can find us over at Nerd Chatter Show on pretty much anywhere. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You can find Nerd Chatter Podcast anywhere you can find podcasts, including Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Audible, Spotify, and basically anywhere else you can find podcasts. Make sure to subscribe and follow while you're there, whatever the poison is for that platform. And give us a dose, that'd be fantastic. All of our episodes are uploaded onto our YouTube channel, where we do weekly live streams playing various video games and drinking. I'm going to be doing that tonight, as per usual. That is also still weekly. It's not bi-weekly, so every week there is still some type of content coming in. So around 8 p.m. Pacific time, you can head on over to our YouTube channel, and you probably catch me live. Sometimes Kenny's there, sometimes Lucas is in the chat pretending that he's there. And
hey.
And we giving the view.
we get a little saucy, play some games. Discord has some games that you could play in a community setting, so maybe with Lucas being on Mac, it's kind of limiting as to what we can play together. But
why are you gonna call me out?
Discord is all inclusive, so we can play some poker, sit around, drink, talk shit. And you put on a movie in the background that we all watch, and have like a little commentary poker match. Who knows? That might be fun, right? And then have that as the content that we upload to the channel. We'll see what's up. We do have the Discord. New stories and stuff like that are being uploaded. The bot has not succumbed to Elon Musk's actions, so that's good.
It's not
also,
him anymore. He stepped down.
Kinda. He's also still completely in charge of everything. He's just having somebody else be the dartboard to receive all the damage. But we still have the Discord, and if we start getting to these poker nights, people want to join, we can have those people on the show, and, kind of vet some people and have them in, play some hands. We cycle some people through, me on the show, chit chat, all that good shit. Go ahead and check it out. Next show should be June 2nd. It'll probably come out that day, if not next day, a couple weeks from now. Gentlemen, thank you guys for being here, as always.
No worries. Thanks.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Like I said, back in a couple weeks. You guys take it easy.
Later.
Later.